Well, this is really cool. We're on a Skype call with a new recent addition to the Rant family. This is Janvi Gurung, 13 years of age. Welcome, Janvi.
Hi, Vincent. Thanks for having me.
You know, it's really great to get to know you and your family. I first saw you at an event, a Blue Star event, put on by Mr. John Cant over at Dickens Opera House in Longmont.
hmm
And you actually live in Longmont. How cool to have Dickens in your hometown there, where you live in.
Yeah, great.
You know, when I saw you, as you know, you were singing quite powerful vocals and keyboard, which you've been studying piano for, I believe, 9 years.
Yep, very long time.
It's an interesting story because you were trained in classical music, an incredible style of music, and one that
Yes.
is really useful for youth that transition into other styles of music. I really want to give kudos to your family for giving you the opportunity to study piano
Yeah,
for that.
that's all my mom. That was all my mom. I remember one day I was on the couch. I don't remember what I was doing, but out of nowhere, she's just working on her computer. She's like, "Hey, do you want to take a piano class?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Let's give it a go." And I ended up falling in love with it the second I walked into that room. And I remember I was thinking to myself, "Oh, I'm never going back." Yeah. So.
Well, it's really fun because you've also studied other instruments. One which you're holding now, the ukulele. Tell us about your love of other instruments too.
Yeah. I love studying new instruments, but I think piano will always hold a special place in my heart because it was the first instrument that I ever learned how to play. It was the first instrument that I was ever introduced to, and it was, without piano, my life in music would be non-existent. So piano really just kind of opened up my eyes to this whole new world of art.
Well, how exciting that you, as of very recently, have formed a new group, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Saturday Tides.
Yep.
Wanted to talk a little bit about your ancestry, Nepalese
Mhm.
ancestry. Kathmandu, you were saying, is the city where your ancestors lived, and
Yes.
you fortunately have a very nice memory of not too long ago. Well, it was actually, I believe, about 8 years ago. But you,
Yeah, it was 8 years ago, but I still remember everything like so clearly.
what are your impressions of being there?
My impressions of being there, before we went there, we hadn't been there in a very long time, and it was such a beautiful place. I'm trying to think. The first time I landed, I think I stepped out of the plane, and it was dark, so I didn't really think much of it. Like, where are we? But yeah, we stayed at a hotel, and then in the morning when it was light and I could see everything. I remember seeing like the curvature of the mountains, and then I remember finding that to be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It was so pretty, and I remember seeing like the people washing their clothes on the rooftops, and just like the vendors selling their goods and selling their vegetables, and I'm like, this is like so raw, but it's so great at the same time because I feel like we live in a generation in a society where everything relies on technology and we kind of forget where we originally came from. But that's why I love Nepal so much is because it reminds you, like, this is where we started and this is where we're gonna stay. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And I think people that from the United States that visit Nepal are really affected by the strength of character of the people that live there.
Yeah. The people there, I remember thinking, wow, Nepali people are like really loud. But they're not loud in a bad way. They're just, they show their affection and they're not afraid to, give you a hug or like give you a kiss on the cheek. And I think that's great. It's just they're not afraid to show who they are as a person, and emotions are valued there highly, and I truly respect that.
That's really something. And of course, being in the Himalayas, Nepal is in the Himalayas, obviously Mount Everest, and um, K2, I believe, at number two is not, but the remaining, I think, top 10 peaks are in that area. So, what an incredible place to literally be a part of yourself.
hmm
You know, speaking of the Himalayas, I visited the Himalaya restaurant in Longmont a few days ago,
Yeah.
and I was really pleasantly shocked. You were with Ash, Brandon, and Tyler, the other three members of
Yeah.
Saturday
Well, Tyler was
Tides.
I
That's
wasn't
right.
with
Excuse
him,
me.
but
Tyler's with
yeah.
the band, but he was not there,
Yeah.
and rather the band, has not been together that long. Very
Uh,
short time, 3 weeks.
yeah.
How much practice did you get in as a group prior to that set that you put on?
A lot. Uh, excuse me. We tried to have enough practice to where like we weren't gonna forget the songs that we were playing, and like we were confident with playing the songs like for a crowd right then. But we tried to keep it so that I wouldn't strain my voice. So I think it was just the right amount.
We've got a great sound, and it was wonderful after that set to invite all of you as a band to be part of the Mishawaka show coming up on Sunday, August 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be your second, well, actually, it's going to be your first performance as a full band.
Yeah.
And
basically, that's how it goes.
you've definitely earned it. You've been working really hard as a solo artist, and really taking the reins and bringing this band together is really great work.
Thank
Great
you.
work. Saturday Tides. And prior to this group having their first performance, you had your first experience in a professional recording studio. Do you want to tell us about that?
Wow, that was unreal. Jasco and Marisol were so nice. They were so, like, they opened themselves up to me. And when I walked downstairs, I'm like, wow, this is the coolest youth for a basement I've ever seen. I was just like, whoa. Yeah, that was unreal to be in, like, in a professional studio like that. Like, I remember thinking when I was, I don't know, 8 or 9, I really hope that I can record in a professional studio, but I didn't think I'd be doing it like a couple years later, and that was such an experience. I was definitely like a little nervous, but once Marisol kind of started, she was just talking about everything and nothing at the same time. I thought it was great. When she started having like a regular conversation with me, I didn't feel the need to be nervous, and they definitely made my experience there a lot more comfortable, because I feel like when you record, or even the thought of recording in a professional studio is pretty intimidating. So I think like having Marisol and Jasco there was definitely like, it definitely made my experience there a lot more memorable. I mean, alone it was memorable, but having Marisol and Jasco there made it all the more memorable. So.
Well, it's great to talk to you about having that experience, because I know that even at the time leading up to that, you had talked about wanting to eventually form a band. And it
Mm-hmm.
seems like having a first experience in a studio where it's all about you, it seems to simplify it. You can just focus on you and not having to look at the other band members to have that first experience like that. We actually started calling you One Take John B.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because, I mean, I was confident that I rehearsed the songs enough, so I didn't feel the need to take another take, but...
Yeah. So you are in the active process of working on originals. Your first performance of one of your originals will be at the Mishawaka, which is really exciting. This particular recording, there were 4 covers, and you have really taken the reins where you're creating a website, which we'll have the link to it upcoming, and also a SoundCloud account. So kudos to you that you're going to do this process. Do you want to talk about the release of these 4 songs?
So with the 4 covers, we decided to release one of them in singles. So like we'll release the first cover, which is my cover of Hair by Lady Gaga, on Friday. That will be released on my SoundCloud account. It'll be released on my Facebook account. I'll have the link linked in my Instagram account, which is John B. Gurren Music. So it'll be on all of my social media accounts. It'll be on my website, all of that. And as the songs keep releasing, I think we're just gonna come up with different dates as we go. So those will also be like the release dates will be brought to the public as well when we figure it out. So for now, we know when we're releasing the first cover, which is Hair by Lady Gaga, and that'll be coming out on Friday.
We're here again talking to John Bigoron. She's 13 years of age, having some great musical experiences. Going back to the Mishawaka show, we're going to hear your first original. Tell us a little bit about this song.
This original song is called War and Rain. I think I wrote it about 3-4 years ago. But I never I just wrote the chorus and a few verses, but I never really perfected it or finished it. But I was looking through my massive pile of songs and I was like, oh wow, these are really old. And War and Rain kind of caught my eye because I feel like in terms of lyrics, this song is the one that I'm most proud of. And I can't really tell you what it's about. You'll have to be at the Mish show to find out. But it's kind of about I'll give you a little teaser. It's kind of about someone's mental journey and making it through their obstacles in life. Yeah, so that's basically it. So here's one line from my original song called War and Rain. I'll be releasing it at the Mishawaka show. I took the west road while you took the east. I bled for chaos while you fought for peace.
There you are. I like it.
Thank you.
I love it. This is the first time I'm hearing Vincent.
John B, this has really been fun. This is our first video call talking about your music. So great to have you involved in these ramp activities and shows. And really great what we've heard so far. And it's going to be really exciting to see you develop as an artist.
Thank you for having me, Vincent.